Hello and welcome to the very first episode of this brand new podcast, Sticky Hopebox Soapbox. I'm B as in your bestie in the Hope department, and I am so glad that you're here. Today kicks off something really special. Each week, in less than 15 minutes, I'll bring you a little dose of hope, a story, a resource, or coping skill, and then a sticky note of the week. Our guest today is Cynthia. Cynthia works a corporate job by day and brings laughter to the stage as a stand-up comedian by night.
That's a good question. That's a big question. I think the cool thing about comedy is I could be telling a joke that I think is so specific to just me or my experience or a certain time in my life. And then after, people will come up to me after the show that you would seemingly think would have nothing in common with me, like a 59-year-old male dock worker came up to me once after one of my shows and was like, "Oh my gosh, everything you said was so relatable, and I really needed that after a long day of work." And that just made my day. Not only because I was I wonder what about my life he found relatable. But that's the thing, is the things that you think are the most outlandish or weird are actually the things that are the most relatable.
We'll be following her journey throughout this season, and honestly, for as long as she'll let me keep interviewing her, and the rest of my guests, on this path of hope and healing. Quick but important note. This podcast is for pure connection, not professional care. It discusses topics that may be sensitive to listeners. Discretion is advised. Not every episode will resonate with everyone, and that's okay. This space welcomes varied experiences and opinions, but will always remain rooted in kindness. Please remember that this podcast does not provide medical, legal, nutritional, spiritual, or therapeutic advice. Always consult your trusted professionals for guidance. And if you or someone you love is in crisis, please call or text 988 or go to your nearest emergency room. Before we dive in, I also want to take a moment to acknowledge Mother's Day weekend. For some, it's a celebration, and for others like me, and maybe you, it can be bittersweet or deeply painful. This is my 15th Mother's Day without my mom, my 9th without my grandma, who helped raise me, and just 2 days later marks the 12th anniversary of my dad's passing. Grief, as many of you know, isn't linear. In the grief group I help facilitate, we often talk about having a plan for days like these, a full energy plan and a low energy one. For example, I might take my mom's heart-shaped ashes out for a walk on a full energy day, or just curl up and watch one of her favorite movies in bed on a low energy day. Wherever you are this weekend, or however you're celebrating your amazingness, just know you're not alone, and I applaud you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along on socials for video from the interviews. Our guest today is Cynthia, an Asian American woman with long dark hair flowing into soft silver ends. She's sitting on her colorful bed, wearing black glasses, a bold lipstick, a cozy pink and gray plaid shirt, and black pants. We're starting light today, diving deeper in future episodes. In this episode, Cynthia shares what hope means to her, her go-to coping skills, advice for tough times, and how comedy helps her mental health. Please meet the courageous and always cool Cynthia.
Hi, my name is Cynthia. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm 30 years old.
I'm so glad you're here, Cynthia. To start off, what are your top coping tools or skills that get you through your everyday life?
Top coping skills that I use to get through my everyday life: kickboxing, trying to express myself if I'm not going out to an open mic, trying to block out some time to at least write jokes. Sleep, though I'm not super great at that one, is a coping skill. Meditation, I'm even less good at that, but that is also something that helps. Making sure that I spend quality time with the friends that know me and care about me, and journaling. Journaling's a big coping as well.
And you said you like to do ASMR as well, is that correct?
Yeah, and ASMR.
Could you tell us a little more about it?
Sure, yeah. ASMR is great to just change my mental state and just feel a little more comforted and sensory. I think it also helps me to be more present by making me focus more on the sensory sensations. And it also helps me with falling asleep. I do have a favorite ASMR video. So W Magazine interviews celebrities to do an ASMR interview, and Cardi B is somebody who actually loves ASMR, is a watcher. So her ASMR video is one that I go back to again and again and again. And just the rhythm that she does and combined with the words is so great. And if you like ASMR, I would highly recommend you check that one out.
How has comedy helped your mental health?
Comedy has definitely helped my mental health tremendously by allowing me to express my thoughts creatively and have that voice, and then empathically to feel some of the joy of making other people laugh has been really helpful to my mental health as well. And even collaborating with other comedians and going back and forth and riffing is also something that is good for my mental health too. And giving me things to look forward to, giving me a way to process my story and the things that I'm thinking about, and helping me to see the funny in even some of the worst situations, or seeing how I can make it funny. I think the cool thing about comedy is I could be telling a joke that I think is so specific to just me or my experience or a certain time in my life. And then after, people will come up to me after the show that you would seemingly think would have nothing in common with me, like a 59-year-old male dock worker came up to me once after one of my shows and was like, "Oh my gosh, everything you said was so relatable, and I really needed that after a long day of work." And that just made my day. Not only because I was I wonder what about my life he found relatable. But that's the thing, is the things that you think are the most outlandish or weird are actually the things that are the most relatable.
What does hope mean to you?
Hope means to me that things will get better, that even if you're feeling like crap right now, you won't forever. Also because things always change and no feeling lasts forever. Hope also means as long as I'm alive and kicking on this earth, that I do have the power to change things and write my story. Hope also means to me that despite all of the turmoil and negative forces in the world, that you can still create safe spaces and nourishing spaces for yourself and the people you care about. Hope means to me that I maybe will be able to get 8 hours of sleep 2 nights in a row one of these days and form better sleeping habits. Hope is that even if I can't quite see a path forward, that things will get better. That's a good question. That's a big question. Oh, Hope is also Hope Tala, great artist. Yeah, I think that's all I got on that for now.
What is one thing you would tell somebody who is going through a tough time that has worked for you in the past?
If you're going through a tough time, find the people that see you and that share your values and make an effort to spend time with them. Primal Screams are also great. Yeah, we used to do Primal Scream Thursdays as part of a co-ed sorority I was in college. What does that look like? Well, we would just go outside onto the quad and yell, but at an appropriate hour, because there's an appropriate hour for that sort of thing. Yeah. Dude, there were no rules. We were just screaming. It felt good. It felt good to scream as a group.
That's perfect. Okay, now, is it possible for you to write that on a sticky note in a condensed version?
Yeah.
When I originally interviewed Cynthia, this wasn't really supposed to be a podcast. So I didn't have her read her sticky note out loud. So I'll do so now. And in future interviews that I haven't already taped, I'll make sure to have the guest read their sticky note. Cynthia's sticky note says, "Find the people who see you and share your values. Then hug them tight and make time for each other." wise words. You're incredible.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you.
How do you feel?
It's good. It's feeling not that hard because it's so easy to be vulnerable with you, which I think is a great attribute of a documentarian as well.
Thank you so much. What did you all think? What stood out to you most about this episode? Feel free to comment and don't forget to subscribe and follow along on socials for video from the interviews. We'll be following her journey throughout the season for as long as she'll let me keep interviewing her. Cynthia's comedy website is listed in the description below. As always, please stay kind, Mom.